Hello.
Hello, we're live.
Welcome to another
We were
episode
impersonating the swap shop for a minute there.
of Toonami Pre-Flight, joined as always by Jason DeMarco. I am Gil Austin.
Hi.
Hi.
You introduced me, so they didn't leave me much to say.
Yeah, I was just seeing...
It's an awkward start, guys. Let's just pretend none of that happened and move on into today's topic. Rain the Conqueror.
We didn't do the rundown.
Who cares?
Okay.
They'll find out what we're going to talk about.
Spoiler alert, it's Rain the Conqueror.
It's stuff, yeah. So Rain the Conqueror is a 13-episode show that premiered on Adult Swim in the U.S.
In 2003.
2003. So Rain's a weird one, wouldn't you say? It's a weird one?
I would say.
It's a weird one.
And that's a crazy-looking graphic, too. That's a lot of colons.
Yeah. Show review, Rain the Conqueror. Aqua Teen, Hunger Film, Hunger Force. Rain was the product
of... always loved Macedonian mythology, but wanted it in the future.
So Rain is a fictional retelling of the story in very broad strokes of Alexander the Great, the Macedonian conqueror who literally ruled the world, the known world, for a period of time. And this is a highly fictionalized version of his story, but featuring tons and tons of actual historical characters, both in Alexander's time and then also like Plato and Aristotle and like all kinds of other people that really existed.
Plays it a little fast and loose with the historical timelines.
It's sort of a steampunk, sexy time version with some mysticism and some other crazy stuff of Alexander's story.
Yeah, it's like a Daft Punk history class.
Yeah, and so the show is identified primarily by the involvement of Peter Chung, the famous animator / director who created Aeon Flux. And the weird thing is, when I did some digging, Peter Chung just did the character designs, and he was involved in the first 4 episodes, like in terms of writing, plotting, and then the show, it was a co-production from a bunch of different companies, some Korean animation. It was it was designed to be an international production, but I guess it was kind of a mess. So they did 4 episodes that they dubbed, and then I guess we're pitching it. And then Peter Chung moved on to other projects, but they kept his character designs, of course, because they're not stupid. And they then, Tokyo Pop picked it up, and then they finished all the episodes and redubbed them, but they left the first 4 with completely different voice actors.
The original dub. I prefer the original dub.
Totally crazy. So the show came out here, and we premiered it. I don't remember how we... Well, you know what? Before we get into that, let's show... So we have 2 Rain the Conqueror promos. We have a really busted old version of our Adult Swim promo from back in the day that Dennis Maloney did for Adult Swim
Much
Action.
To his dismay.
And then we have Tokyo Pop's slightly newer promo, but also shittier promo. So first, let's check out the Adult Swim Action promo for Rain the Conqueror.
The prophecy has been revealed, Alexander.
He was destined to rule the world and utterly destroy it. The legend of Alexander the Great, as you've never seen it before.
The only thing I treasure is speed, and I keep running.
From the creator of Aeon Flux, Peter Chung's Rain the Conqueror, Monday through Thursday at midnight.
It is the Devil King!
Adult Swim.
Trying to figure out who that VO guy was, but I think it's Howard Parker.
I think it's the guy who did the Grindhouse trailers, who doesn't actually sound like that, but does some other promos.
I don't know, but yeah. So that was our promo, and this show was sort of, we had nothing to do with the acquisition of this show. I think someone asked us, "Do you like Peter Chung, Aeon Flux guy?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Well, we're getting a show from that guy." And we were like, "Okay." And they took a look at the character designs and decided it was too sexy for daytime Toonami, so they threw it on Adult Swim.
I don't think anything was too sexy for daytime Toonami.
So here is Tokyo Pop's promo for Rain the Conqueror.
From the creator of Aeon Flux and the producer of Trigun and Ninja Scroll, a dark prophecy foreshadows the coming of a great warrior.
Alexander, destroyer of worlds.
darkness comes the greatest conqueror the world will ever know. Rain.
That promo was like, I escaped from the 90s to bring you techno. Look at that. Where is it? So,
that's who Jason's going to cosplay as for this year's Comic-Con.
I'm going to cosplay as that guy. It'd be more accurate. So the thing about Rain that everyone always comments on is the insane costumes, because basically everyone's costume is, I mean, like any Peter Chung stuff.
All missing pieces to some degree.
Yeah, he loves crazy character designs. He loves revealing designs. And I read some quote where he said, most characters in cartoons have no sex life, and I like to draw characters that are actual fleshed out, and have sexual desires, and that informs who they are. So I think that to him means I make sure everyone's costume has a giant area of flesh showing so that everybody can be turned on. So
it's working.
All the costumes, especially for the male characters, are usually their midriff is always showing, and they're usually like in bikinis. So it's a pretty hilarious thing, and the hilarious... honestly, people's reactions to the show are always hilarious because they're always like, whoa, that's real weird. I like my anime more manly. But it's not a bad show. It's just sort of...
It's just kind of a mess.
It's too much of, everything. It's like, it's literally the definition of too much. It's like the character designs are too over the top. The animation's beautiful. The story is too convoluted because they're trying to combine real history with some futuristic steampunk metaphysical examinations of man. They don't really focus on Alexander enough, and he is sort of the least interesting character because they don't really flesh him out. He's just sort of a quiet badass at all times.
It looks like they fleshed him out.
And the episodes sort of focus on different people, so it's sort of it was a very weird, complicated show trying for a lot of different things, and I like that about it, but it kind of didn't succeed at doing any one thing very well because I think it was trying to do too many different things.
Yeah.
And it kind of ended just like it just sort of ran out. Like they didn't, it ends in a very sort of ambiguous note. And it's crazy because going back and looking through what's out there on the internet, and this show, like literally no one cares about this show. There's no fan pages. There's some reviews of the show out there, but literally every review is and there's no, you can't even, even to find our Adult Swim promo, you can find most of the stuff we've done.
Yeah.
It was in a promo pack of like 4 other promos. Like no one cared.
One of the reviews I read said, I prefer the original Cantonese dub, and that's when you know it's the deep web.
Well, my favorite comment was I saw a comment on this on IMDb about this show, and it was like, for those of you who like real deep anime, not Dragon Ball Z Kai crap like they show on Cartoon Network. And I wish I could message that guy and be like, this aired on Cartoon Network too, dumbass. But yeah, so Reign the Conqueror is available on DVD. I think you can get it from Amazon, the used Tokyo Pop stuff. Maybe it will come out at some point to be resurrected. I don't think it has a big fan base, but it's an interesting failure is how I would couch it. I think Peter Chung being involved with anything means it's automatically going to have a unique look and point of view, and that's cool. But I feel like him leaving probably was a sign that this wasn't going to be what he wanted it to be, so therefore it feels a little bit like a compromised vision. I don't know whose vision it was exactly or where it went wrong, but I wonder what Peter Chung thinks about people always bringing this show up, and he's probably like, look, I did character designs and worked on 4 episodes. Move on. I've done a million other things. But even our advertisement or Tokyo Pop's, it's Peter Chung's.
Well, yeah,
from the creator. It's like
from the mind.
He's probably like, God damn it. So yeah, there's Reign the Conqueror, a early Adult Swim action premiere that didn't quite burn up the charts, but in my view is worth remembering.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Reign.
Hail Alexander. So now let's move on to our question.
Should have done the Die Hard scene quote.
Yeah.
Next time.
The Shelley poem or whatever. So let's go on to our topic of this week, which is, What movies are you most excited about this year? In our continuing quest for new topics, at this point, we pretty much are just like, how many pairs of pants do you own? Favorite pants?
3.
So we are on to a subject that Gil and I always find ourselves talking about, which is what movies we're excited about this year. So without further ado, let's start. I'll go first. Let's start talking.
Do it. Speak.
So my first movie I want to talk about has not come out yet, and I think comes out in the next month.
It's the 20th, I think.
Thanks, buddy. So this is directed by Shane Black, and it's called The Nice Guys. So let's watch this trailer, and then I'll talk a little bit about Shane Black.
It's my husband. He's gone missing.
Missing?
I'm terribly worried. It's just Fred's never been gone this long before.
How long has he been missing?
Since the funeral.
Well, I can start right away. You're a private investigator? My profession is very complicated, okay? It's nuanced. That's a lot of blood.
You beat people up and charge money?
Yeah. Sad, isn't it?
How much would you charge to beat up my friend Janet?
What? How much you got?
$30?
That's good. This conversation is over.
The mob is trying to spread its operation to Los Angeles. Somehow, my daughter Amelia is involved. Please, find her.
Seen this girl?
What's in it for me?
Well, we can do this the easy way. Ow! We're currently doing it the easy way.
Whatever happened to offering me $20?
It's the recession. This is a high-profile case.
Made the newspapers.
Where is Amelia?
What the hell's going on?
Oh, you know, there's a guy coming to kill us. That kind of crap.
Hey, can you behave like a professional?
I'm sorry.
She's in danger, man. We have to do something about it.
She's dead.
She's not dead. She's not dead.
Why do you think everyone involved with this case is dying? This is not you. You're not a murderer.
I just killed 3 people.
I know, but I'm saying deep down.
Look, if you come in here, you beat up on me. It's part of the job, I accept it. But what did you do? You pissed me off.
Before we go solving the crime of the century, let's deal with the rotting corpse.
I got a plan. Run.
There's actually
for that movie.
There's actually a way better trailer that's a Red Band trailer, but it's got so much Red Band shit in it we couldn't even show it on this broadcast. I urge you to check that out too. So yeah, Shane Black wrote and directed The Nice Guys, and if you don't know Shane Black because you're a youngin', he is a legendary Hollywood screenwriter who wrote a bunch of awesome action movies in the 80s and 90s. He came up with Lethal Weapon and Lethal Weapon 2. He actually walked off Lethal Weapon 2 because they did not kill Riggs at the end. He thought Riggs should have died and was like...
That's integrity.
And was like, I'm out of here! But he still got paid for Lethal Weapon 3 and 4 because he created the characters. And then he wrote The Long Kiss Goodnight, which is a wonderful action movie with Samuel Jackson and Gina Davis. And he wrote The Last Boy Scout,
where he got $1 million for the script, which is an awesome movie.
Which is a perennial favorite of mine, starring Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis. Some friggin' amazing lines. And he actually starred in Predator. He's one of the guys in Predator from the team he's the guy with the glasses. And he, after The Long Kiss Goodnight, he got a $4 million payday for writing that script and was like the highest paid screenwriter in Hollywood. But he got so much shit for that because that movie flopped that he just sort of walked away in disgust from doing anything. And for like literally 15 years, didn't do anything else. And then in 2005, he did this movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Robert Downey Jr. When Robert Downey Jr., this is pre-Iron Man Robert Downey Jr., he He gave him a starring role.
Batman, Val Kilmer.
He gave him a starring role when literally no one was giving him starring roles, and it's an awesome little. It's sort of like The Nice Guys. It's like a quip-filled crime thriller, which is sort of the thing he does best. And Robert Downey Jr. then, like a good human being, did him a solid and brought him back to direct Iron Man 3, which he also wrote. So I'm always interested in Shane Black's movies, especially when they star actors I like, and I like Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. And
which do you like more? And explain why.
I like Ryan Gosling more because I think Russell Crowe's a douche as a human being. And Ryan Gosling has done movies I don't like, but he's got a better batting average than Russell Crowe does.
Fair.
Although Russell's no joke, he can act. But
he can also beat the shit out of somebody in a hotel lobby.
He did. Well, I don't hold that against him. I wish I could do that. If I was famous, I'd have beaten 5 guys up in hotel lobbies by now. But anyway, Shane Black has a wonderful ear for dialogue, so it's not just plotting and stuff. I love hearing him. I love hearing the way he has characters talk. He's really good at quips in particular. So check it out if you're interested in crime thrillers, Shane Black, or those two actors. My next pick is called The Lobster, and I think we can talk about it after we watch the trailer, which will sort of do most of the work for us.
Have you ever been on your own before?
No, never.
Your last relationship lasted how many years?
Around 12.
Sexual preference?
Women. Is there a bisexual option available?
No, sir. This option is no longer available. And the dog?
My brother, he was here a couple of years ago, but he didn't make it.
Did you read the leaflet?
Yes, I did.
As you understand from your brother's experience, if you fail to fall in love with someone during your stay here, you'll turn into an animal.
Have you ever danced with anybody?
Yes.
As an animal, you'll have a second chance to find a companion.
What sort of dancing did you do?
Just depends on the music.
Mind if I join you?
It's no coincidence that the targets are shaped like single people and not couples.
Did you catch rabbits? Catching a rabbit is difficult.
Thank you very much.
If you need more rabbits, I'll bring you more.
You promise?
You can be a loner as long as you like. There is no time limit. Any romantic or sexual relations are punished.
We have to be totally synchronized. 3, 2. You're like a brother to me. Oh, you're my best friend in the whole world.
I don't think I'm your best friend in the whole world.
Now, have you thought of what animal you'd like to be if you end up alone?
Yes, a lobster.
A lobster is an excellent choice. If you encounter any problems you cannot resolve yourselves, you will be assigned children. That usually helps.
I don't know that children help with problems. But anyway.
I think that was the joke.
What kind of animal would you be?
A dog. Or a giraffe.
I think a lobster might be a good choice if you want to live a long time because they're immortal. So
I don't think they're immortal.
They are. They can't unless they're
can't be killed. Unless
they're killed, they don't die.
Doesn't that mean you're not immortal?
They don't live forever. All right. Yes. I know what you mean. Pedantic Gil, I knew would go there. But
no, I honestly don't understand what you're saying.
I mean, lobsters don't. They will live forever.
You mean if they're not boiled?
Killed. If they're not,
they don't die of natural causes.
Correct.
But they can be killed.
Correct. They don't die of natural causes. Neither do jellyfish. They will live and live and live and live and live until something kills them. Like they don't get sick. They don't age.
Is that why lobster is so delicious? I haven't tried jellyfish. I don't know.
I have had jellyfish and lobster. Lobster's way more delicious. But
do you feel like we're getting sidetracked?
I was just mentioning something innocently, but it didn't surprise me that we got sidetracked.
No, I thought it was interesting.
It is a conversation with Gil, after all. So this director is Yorgos Lanthimos, and he is Greek. and he did a movie called Dogtooth, which I really liked about 3 years ago. And so ever since Dogtooth, I've always just checked for his work, and I heard about The Lobster. I mean, it's been floating around film festivals and stuff for like 6 months already. Of course, by the time we see it, it'll have already been around for like a year. But I've read good reviews of it, and I think he sort of does, I guess you would say, magical realism is the type of the zone he works in, but magical realism always sounds sort of cutesy to me, and his is more of like a darker magical realism, maybe surrealism.
Black magic.
Based on this cast, I'm down.
Yeah, it looks great.
The second I see John C. Reilly holding a shotgun saying, well, I don't think I'm your best friend in the whole world, I was like...
When he's got his Steve Brule hair on, it's you're in for a treat.
So yeah, based on the cast and based on his previous work, I'm totally excited for this movie. I don't think it's gonna... He sort of resists regular plot lines. I don't think it's gonna have any real conclusion, but I know that I'm gonna enjoy the journey.
What animal would you come back as?
Yeah, I thought about that, and I think maybe I would come back as a bear. Get to sleep a lot, very powerful and fast. Not too dissimilar from where I am now.
Yeah, it's just stay in your lane, I think.
Smelly, Yeah.
I would also consider a turtle, but a sea turtle.
Yes.
Not a box turtle, like bullshit. Box turtle.
So you'd rather be going extinct?
Yeah. Go out on my terms.
Is it your terms, though? Really?
Boat,
it's the world's
man's terms.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Of the polarized caps.
You're a sea turtle, all right. Okay, so...
I take that as a compliment.
My final movie I'm excited about that I haven't seen is the new Star Wars movie, because it's May the 4th as we record this. So
indeed. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
And also with you.
So that is the great Ben Mendelsohn. That's the great Ben Mendelsohn, who is an character actor I really love. He had a big role on Bloodline, is where most people would know him from. But he's been in a ton of movies, and I guess he's the bad guy, along with Mads Mikkelsen, who I also love in Rogue One. So let's watch the trailer, which is a terrific trailer, and then we'll talk about the new Star Wars movie.
State your name for the record.
Jin Erso.
Forgery of imperial documents, possession of stolen property, aggravated assault, resisting arrest.
On your own from the age of 15, reckless, aggressive, and undisciplined.
This is a rebellion, isn't it? I rebel.
We have a mission for you. A major weapons test is imminent. We need to know what it is and how to destroy it.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
What will you do when they catch you? What will you do if they break you? If you continue to fight? What will you become?
Yes.
So yeah, I'm excited for this one because Gareth Edwards, the director, did the Godzilla reboot, which I thought was good and solid and a good Godzilla movie. And I like the idea that it's a standalone movie. It's a sort of prequel side story that details how the rebels got the plans to the Death Star that they blow up in Episode 4, A New Hope.
Spoiler alert.
And I like the cast a lot. I mean, if you're going to make a Star Wars movie and you're going to put Ben Mendelsohn, Mads Mikkelsen, friggin' Donnie Yen, the kung fu legend, and Forrest Whitaker, I'm already going to be kind of into it. And then I really like the reinterpolation of the Star Wars themes they use in the trailer, and I love the sound design of the that alarm sound. Yeah. That makes me hope, because Gareth Edwards has a really good ear for sound. And
which is one of the things you did not like about...
It was like the one thing I didn't like about Force Awakens is I feel that J.J. Abrams did not live up to the previous Star Wars films in terms of sound design and new sounds, which is something that those movies are always top-notch, and he doesn't care about that as much. And it's still a great movie, but it's missing that one element, and I think Gareth Edwards might pay a little more attention to that just based on this trailer. I also love the new Stormtrooper designs that you see in the camo Stormtrooper. Yeah. I'm an easy-to-please Star Wars fan, but I like the idea that it's a standalone film, and I've been waiting for this Star Wars universe to have more standalone films that aren't part of the main storyline of...
Shrug off the nostalgia machine to a certain extent.
Not even just that, but I'm just like, okay, yeah, we've done enough with Skywalkers. I don't need to know any more Skywalker stories. Like, Gil and I were talking about that the actress who plays the rebel leader, Mon Mothma, looks exactly like the lady who played her in Return of the Jedi. Evidently, she was also in the prequels. She was in the final prequel in Revenge of the Sith. But man, they did a good job. She looks just like Mon Mothma from Jedi. Yeah. So I'm excited for that as a Star Wars nerd. Can't wait. And lastly, I'm going to do a little bonus just because I want everyone to see this movie. I just saw it. Gil hasn't seen it yet, but I just want to talk about it. So my final little bonus is the movie Green Room, which is out now, and as we speak, and everyone should see it before it leaves theaters.
What are you doing later today?
Working, unfortunately, but I would like to see it again. So let's show the trailer, and I'll just give you a little. I'll just talk about it for a minute, and then we'll move on to Gil's picks.
Sound check in 15. You're on in 20.
There's been a stabbing. Stop!
In the room. Go.
Cops are on the way.
We haven't done anything.
Doesn't matter.
We sit and we wait.
And we die.
Not if you sit and you wait.
Where are the police?
They've come and gone. Got a little complicated. Gentlemen, it won't end well.
Maybe she's not dead. There's not a lot of blood.
Oh, fuck, man.
Holy shit.
Things have gone south. No doubt.
We gotta go. Shoot who's left.
Let him bleed.
They're coming.
Here we go.
Careful now.
He's got 3 shots! 2 shots! 1 shot!
Zero.
This'll be over soon, gentlemen.
Badass. So, Green Room was written and directed by Jeremy Saulnier, I think is how you say his name. He did the movie Blue Ruin, if you've seen that. Was also a thriller, and it's basically a group of teenagers who are in a hardcore band, and they get a gig at a sort of they get a last-minute gig at an out-of-the-way weird bar that turns out to be a neo-Nazi bar, and they accidentally walk in on the aftermath of a murder, and basically the neo-Nazis keep them locked in this room while they try to figure out what to do with them, and then things get increasingly bad for everybody involved, and it is one of the most brutal thrillers I've seen in a long time. But it's totally awesome, and you should see it. You should definitely make sure that you have a strong stomach. But it's well worth the watch. So I just wanted to talk about that because it was one of the movies I was most excited about, and I just saw it like a week ago. So,
and you remain excited.
Yes, and I remain excited about it. So technically, it still falls into that.
I think we should have done Rogue One as a group effort, and then you've done your 3. But we'll talk about that.
There's not 3 other
weeks.
movies you're excited about?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, I see. Because you're as excited as I am for Rogue One.
Well,
that's cool. Happy May the 4th.
Indeed.
Turtle.
Bear. Tell me of your homeworld.
Tell me of your homeworld, Usul.
Up first for me is Captain America Civil War. Parenthetically, Black Panther beats the shit out of Bucky.
Yes, Black Panther and Spider-Man beat the shit out of Bucky.
So in the spirit of that, let's watch Black Panther beat the shit out of Bucky.
Southwest rooftop.
Who the hell's the other guy?
About to find out.
Yeah.
Be seeing that
Rip his
Friday.
face off.
Hopefully there'll be a green room screen. Do you think there's an 8:30 a.m. green room that I could watch before Captain America Civil War?
I think Captain America's probably going to push 10 other movies out of the theater, so green room might be one of them.
I coincidentally or unrelatedly will be sick tomorrow, so coming down with something.
I got something bad, boss.
But I'll see you at Captain America on Friday. So. Yeah, I'm excited about this movie. Other than the terrible CG of the little Captain in the first Captain America,
that still makes me laugh, man. The original Captain America
in the style of tippy toes,
skinny head with. I mean, you know what? The compositing is great. It doesn't look bad. It just looks. It just doesn't look real.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to make that look real, and it just. The first half hour of the movie, I just laughed.
But I don't really care.
It's a good movie, though.
About Captain America all that much. I don't hate Captain America, but I don't really.
Do you hate America?
Sometimes, but sometimes I don't.
It's okay. I hate.
But I like these movies more than I like Captain America, which I think is a testament to the movies themselves.
I would agree. I feel the same way.
And now I'm actually excited to see a character, so hopefully that doesn't somehow, some bizarre math equation make me dislike this movie. But
I mean, I complain a lot about the Marvel universe because I think it's a bad trend to expect every friggin' movie to be connected, and it makes for movies that don't necessarily have a lot of character and can't stand on their own. But the flip side of that is when it's done right, you can build a story over a couple of years, almost like a TV show, in a way that's very satisfying. And so far, with Captain America and Iron Man in particular, Marvel has done a good job of building those two characters to this point where they would be in conflict in a way that makes sense and isn't dumb. And then supposedly, if the reviews are right, has an emotional payoff that's bigger. So that's cool. I think that's cool. So take the good with the bad. The bad is a bunch of dumb movies and good directors getting.
You're
going to
break into the Facts of Life theme song.
You take the good, you take the bad. But yeah,
something else, and there you have.
I will be in the theater with Gil, rooting for Spider-Man and Black Panther to kick Bucky's ass.
I think we're going to be in for a treat. Up next for me is X-Men Apocalypse, which is another word that I always spell wrong.
Gil only likes superhero movies, just so you guys know. He's only excited for heroes.
I'm just reaching out for a hero.
I guess so.
I like this iteration of the X-Men movies. Maybe it's my fondness for the late 70s, early 80s, and through to the 60s. I think.
Did you read X-Men comics in the 60s?
No, like that time period. I mean, I'm really excited for the Nice Guys X-Men crossover movie that's coming out in 2018. This clip that we have is sort of a behind-the-scenes kind of trailer-ish that sort of explains what they're doing with Apocalypse, which is not exactly canon, but is pretty close. So let's check this out, and then we can talk about the movie.
Some believe that the first mutant was born thousands of years ago, and he's going to rise again.
Apocalypse was born millennia ago, and he brought civilization to mankind, but in turn believed he was a god.
Apocalypse has rejuvenated himself throughout history by taking the body of another mutant.
With each mutant he inhabits, he takes their powers. So he's acquired over thousands of years multiple powers.
He can control all of us.
Charles!
You are all my children, and your loss.
He wakes up in 1983 to a world that, to him, is one giant, corrupt civilization.
Here we go. Action.
To have a brilliant actor like Oscar Isaac embody the villain brings a very powerful complexity into the character.
Together, we will cleanse the earth.
Apocalypse has decided to take judgment on the world. So he's gathered a team of mutants to wipe out the human race.
Everything they've built will fall!
It's all of us against a god.
Let's go to war.
X-Men Apocalypse is by far the largest X-Men movie. The powers of the villain are much greater, and the stakes are much higher.
Despite Bryan Singer not really seeming all that excited about his own movie.
Stakes are higher, whatever. This is my fifth X-Men movie, guys. I'm tired.
Yeah, I like...
Or it's his fourth. Is this fourth? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's his fourth.
He produced...
third and fourth,
yeah,
but he didn't direct it. Yeah, either one of
them. No, you shouldn't be so tired. Have an espresso before the BTS crew comes and get a little hyped for your movie. But I really like the cast in this run of X-Men movies, and I'm excited to see mutant powers unite. And
the last one was good. The last X-Men movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed. It was kind of a mess, but it was a fun mess, and this one kind of looks similarly like a fun mess, which is all I really ask for in a superhero
big
movie.
Superhero summer movie.
Yeah, there are some actors I don't like in there, but there is a bunch that I do, and I think Bryan Singer generally does a better job with the X-Men than anyone else. So I think it could be fun.
Yeah, hopefully. And last for me, mostly just to see if Sean could correctly identify which iteration of it is.
Good luck.
Is that
now we're going to get the original picture now.
Is the Magnificent Seven, which if you're a deep fan, good call.
See, I called it.
Good call.
Told you.
That's not the right one. Sean, seriously. Sean. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's the right one.
That's right. The Magnificent Seven Horsemen of Apocalypse.
But I am looking forward to this movie. I think that Training Day Western sets up for a good scenario. I like the cast that they have assembled. It's not going to be... It'll be better than the one that we accidentally showed...
The made-for-TV remake
last
from
time.
the 90s.
Not as good as Seven Samurai or the original Magnificent Seven. But I do think it'll be a fun movie, and I like this cast, so I am excited for it. So let's check out the trailer.
Sir, I have a proposition. We're decent people being driven from our homes. Slaughtered in cold blood.
So you seek revenge?
I seek righteousness. But I'll take revenge.
Took a job looking for some men to join me. Is it difficult? Impossible. How many you got so far? You and me?
Quite a batch of strays.
This is not going to end well. God dang it, I'm good.
How many men, you say?
I don't believe I'll be experiencing it at IMAX, but I do I am looking forward to this movie. I think you're good. And I know that Jason isn't, so...
Looks like dog shit to me.
Cool.
Antoine Fuqua usually directs dog shit. I do like Denzel. He's always in B movies. I love that Denzel could be in literally any kind of movie he wants at this point, like nothing left to prove, but has spent the last 15 straight years just doing like bullshit action B movies.
Yeah.
That's like all he wants to do is
I love it.
All he wants to do is kill people on screen.
And that's what I want to go see.
I
want to go see Denzel Washington in a Western.
Yeah, if it wasn't a remake of The Magnificent Seven, I might be more interested, but I can literally watch 2 of the best movies ever made that are already this exact story and not Antoine Fuqua. So I don't know.
Just consider it Magnificent Six.
If you tell me it was fun, maybe I'll watch it on a plane.
Maybe we could go together.
I'm not spending hard-earned cash on that.
I'll buy your ticket.
Oh, in that case. If I don't like it, though, I'm going to make fun of you.
Oh, no.
Oh, all right. Just saying.
Let's see what the Facebook poll...
I bet they come up with better choices than this.
We'll see.
Yeah.
not so far.
No, The Killing Joke's going to be good. I am excited about The Killing Joke. That's the Bruce Dini directed. That looks like it'll be good.
No, I meant The Purge 3.
Oh, I'm excited about The Purge 3, baby. Unlike The Magnificent Seven, The Purge has no pedigree. It's just literally violence porn. And that violence porn, the choice everyone on Earth should be embarrassed about is the friggin' Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, which, come on.
That's nostalgia. Just a sign of the times.
That's nostalgia. That's all that is. You like the turtles? Turtle people. The worst.
I don't think
I do.
In with Ninja Turtles.
Why not? We'll lump them in. All turtles.
Okay. Let's
go to the next one.
Do it.
Facebook, Toonami Facebook, nice. Captain America, Suicide Squad. Rogue One, Finding Dory I am excited about. I'd like to read some reviews, though. And Doctor Strange, not till I know more about the movie, because that first trailer was not super impressive. I don't think. So, yeah, thank you guys for voting on your movies you're excited about. Whether or not we all agree is not really the point.
Yeah, you can't
excited.
tell someone that their feelings are wrong. They're excited for it.
Be excited. That's great.
Yeah. Tamp down the excitement.
I can still say the movie looks like a piece of shit to me.
Yeah.
But
I think that's
saying don't be excited about it.
I think you're raining on the parade a little bit, but
maybe
we're starting to split hairs again.
Maybe. All right. Well, now speaking of raining on the parade, let's go to this week's sneak peek, which is our game review of the video game The Division, which Gil also played for his One Man's Trash. And we had always intended to do a review, but I think we got a little behind because you were doing One Man's Trash and had to get that out of the way first.
It was more that we were kind of already... We were locked up. We were scheduled out. This was the one part of the year that we actually had stuff every week.
So this just got pushed until now. Yeah. So for those of you Division fans who've been dying for a review, we're finally here to service your needs. So this is our official Toonami review of The Division, written by Gil and cut by Johnny?
Sarah.
I want to do something else.
We've done it all. A lot.
But it's fun.
I didn't say it wasn't, but you want something else.
Sarah and I are talking about The Division, which has been out for a couple of months now.
You play an agent who's been activated to help get control of Manhattan after the dollar flu.
We got criminal elements occupying most of these neighborhoods.
It's part MMO, part third-person open-world game.
I like the story, and the gameplay is really fun.
But it takes a minute to get used to the bullet sponge and cover system.
You need to build up all 3 parts of your base to advance the story.
Looks perfect. I can't thank you enough.
And each one gives you different ability boosts. But once you finish the main story, there's just not much left to do.
The free incursion mode is out now, which is basically a horde mode, but it's pretty hard if your team isn't coordinated.
And no one's strong enough to do it on your own. So we're kind of stuck.
We are under heavy fire! Requesting support, now!
There's the Dark Zone where you can play with or against other agents.
But even that's kind of the same thing. I want more missions to play, or Dark Zone missions.
I would even replay all the missions on Challenging, but they're not all available.
I give The Division a really fun 8 out of 10.
I agree, but if more content comes out, that could go higher.
So what do you want to do?
We get a rose jacket if we get all the echoes.
Huh. Okay, let's roll.
I completely agree with Tom and Sarah's assessment of The Division.
Yeah, I like the game a lot. I just wish that there was more to do.
Yeah.
Or if there was a reason for the grind. I'm looking forward to the next update, which is really sort of the first one.
Yeah. I'm going to wait and see what that is before I play again, because I do feel like it reminded me of Destiny, although Destiny was different, so it's not. But they're similar in that they both have this world that they've constructed that's somewhat interesting, and then you get in there and there's just not a lot to do in it. And after a while, you're like, oh, I see. This is literally all there is. And so unless they come out with some really interesting way to make that world more interesting, I don't know that I'm going to care enough to play the update. I did have fun with it, though. Like, it was a good time, but I just, at this point, I can't. The idea of just another thing where I do a bunch more missions is just like, there's going to be other games I want to play more, I think.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what it's like and what they do. I mean, I think if, much like all of these games, if you had a crew that you rolled with, it could still be fun. Even then, I think it would probably at this point be kind of pointless, repetitive. But it's like there's, other than grind up to get more gear to prepare to play the game more, there's really not that much.
Yeah, that's
to do,
where I get off the boat generally, is when it turns into you've done literally everything, and now the only thing you can do is do the same shit again in the hope that you get a drop of better gear to then allow you to do more of the same shit again, is where I'm just, that's where my trip on the hamster wheel usually stops for me.
Me too. I don't do that at all.
And then finally, we have for you guys a new edition of Moving Pictures, which is where I review an animated film. And for this week's Moving Pictures, I reviewed the film. Please forgive my shitty photography of myself in my spare room where I record this, but I review the Charlie Kaufman film Anomalisa. So, did you see?
No, I want to.
Well, check out the review.
Yeah,
here we go.
Can't wait.
Hey, Toonami faithful, and welcome to another episode of Moving Pictures, in which I, Jason DeMarco, review an animated film I haven't seen before, recommended to me by you, Toonami viewers. So, for today's episode, we're going to be talking about the film Anomalisa, which is directed by and written by Charlie Kaufman, the great screenwriter who wrote Adaptation, Being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, a bunch of other great movies. So Anomalisa is an animated film, and the guys who worked on the animation are Starburns Industries. They're the guys who did Moral Laurel and a bunch of other amazing things. His co-director worked on the stop-motion episode of Community. But it's very much a Charlie Kaufman film. Anomalisa concerns a character named Michael Stone. And you start to realize as the film goes on that every single character besides the main character, besides Michael Stone, who's voiced by David Thewlis, I think it's pronounced Thewlis, he's a really great British actor. Every character besides him is voiced by the same actor, this actor Tom Noonan.
I think perhaps, madam, that I had better resign. Yes, I think you'd better. That's a very good idea. What do you think your father would say to all this? I don't care what anybody says. Godfrey loves me. Now see here, young lady, you take a bath and put on some dry clothes and come downstairs immediately.
And after a while, for me, this really started to get disturbing because he was voicing women, he was voicing men, and he was always kind of the same.
2 Belvedere martinis straight up with twists. Thank you.
They all kind of have similar features, and they all sound exactly the same. So the movie is putting you in the headspace of Michael Stone, who is depressed. Sort of, you find out he doesn't really like what he does. He doesn't like his wife. He doesn't like his kid.
I'm just trying to understand.
So obviously he's been unhappy for a long time, and he's experiencing a sort of midlife crisis, and he's very dissociative. And while he's at this conference, suddenly you hear a different voice.
Oh my God. Hello? Oh, do I look awful? I was just taking my makeup off. Oh my God. Ugh, don't look at me.
Hello? No, you look lovely.
So that's the voice of Jennifer Jason Leigh, and she voices the character Lisa, who he says, you're an anomaly. I'm going to name you Anomalisa. So that's where the name of the movie comes from. So basically, he falls for Lisa, and she kind of falls for him. He sort of is viewing her as a way out. You know, they never really make it clear whether he's just suffering from sort of the human condition, because obviously this is a key thing that Charlie Kaufman always likes to talk about. What how we all relate to one another, whether we're all really alone, whose reality is whose. He's staying at this hotel called the Hotel Frigioli, which, as it turns out, is the name of a psychological condition in which the delusional person thinks that every other human in the world is the same person, simply disguising themselves and pretending to be different. It can get bigger than that. So basically, that's a hint that he is, whether he knows it or not, whether it's supposed to be directly or not, he's sort of suffering from the Frigioli delusion. He thinks everyone's the same, and really it's because he feels alone. It's basically a way to show his existential loneliness. It's really crazy to me that they took the power of animation, which is to show all these different worlds, and they used it instead to completely slave themselves to this one man's vision of the world, which is incredibly sort of boring and stifling on purpose, you know, for them. Obviously, his world is very stifling for him. It's a very deep movie, but at the same time, it's a really weirdly slow and boring movie, and that's by design. It really does feel like, having spent a lot of nights in lonely hotel rooms myself, it really does feel like sometimes that feeling of just that mundanity of when you're alone in a hotel and just bored. It was really not what I expected. I expect even stop motion animated films, I expect to be somewhat more along the lines of Coraline, or, you know, usually when someone does stop motion, it's still to tell a story in a way that they couldn't tell in live action. And you could certainly argue that there are things they could have done to tell this story in live action. But then when you think about the way that they made the puppets sort of look all somewhat similar, and they voiced all the characters with Tom Noonan's voice, I don't think they could have achieved that unsettling effect. What's my ultimate review of this movie? I liked it. I don't know that I would want to watch it again right away. I think it's very Charlie Kaufman-esque in that way. It definitely unsettles you and makes you think in a way that's sometimes pleasant and sometimes is unpleasant. I would say it's an excellent, excellent example of the way that animation can be about more than just kinetic movement, which is what people traditionally use animation for. I thought it was wonderful. I don't think a lot of people talked about it last year, and I think if you have the chance to see it and you're in the mood for something maybe a little slower and a little more thought-provoking in terms of animation, it's well worth checking out. So that's my review of Anomalisa. If you have any other suggestions for me, hit me up at ClarkNova1 on Twitter and let me know. If I haven't seen the movie, I'm game to watch something new. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Nice.
I wish I could end every time I talk to anybody.
And that'll do us for today.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week for an all-new Pre-Flight.
Bye.